First, it was Kelly Bundy, or Christina Applegate, should I say. And now this other group who has come out and gone after Candace Owens. I am loving it. Now, I know what you're saying. Is this the wake-up call? No, it is not. Again, she has to get the same kind of treatment that Stacey Dash gets before we can deem it the wake-up call. But this is a little appetizer. So Candace Owens is getting flamed by another group that's actually also a conservative group for the comment she made, in which Christina Applegate called her out on a couple weeks ago. Of course, y'all know I did a video about it when Candace Owens was saying that everything is for everybody. She was basically talking crap about the disabled community in this campaign they had going on. Christina Applegate had to check her, but now this other group is checking her too for the same thing. Far-right activist Candace Owens is under fire by the conservative National Center for Public Policy Research after she complained about people with disabilities getting represented in commercials. During an episode of her podcast, Owens said about an ad depicting a woman in a wheelchair modeling underwear, "I don't really understand how far we are going to take this inclusivity thing." She added, "I don't know why this needs to be done. I'm just getting tired of all this inclusivity thing. It just seems ridiculous," noted the organization in a statement. Owens' unapologetic comments have garnered wide-ranging disapproval across the political spectrum, including Hollywood actress Christina Applegate, who was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis in 2021. Applegate commented on Twitter, "Woke to see the most horrible thing. This Candace person making comments about companies who see we need help. It's effing gross." In particular, the comment drew outrage from the senior advisor to NCPPR's ABLE's American program, Melissa Ortiz. "As a lifelong conservative, I am appalled that Candace Owens seems to see herself as the spokeswoman on this issue for the whole freedom movement," Ortiz said in an article originally published in USA Today. "Owens and I prove that no political leaning is monolithic in nature. Her boldness resonates with me and many other conservative women, but I was stunned by her comments about women in wheelchairs modeling underwear, especially her sentiment that no one wants to see that." Owens, who has been affiliated with the controversial right-wing student group Turning Point USA and is the self-described founder of the Blexit movement to encourage Black people to abandon the Democratic Party for the GOP, has triggered outrage several times in the past, and several might be an understatement. In 2019, Owens stirred controversy when she said in a speech that Hitler would have been fine if he hadn't tried to expand outside of his borders and stuck to making Germany great. And last year, she produced a quote-unquote documentary that purported to show it was a lie that George Floyd was murdered. Now, I found it very interesting that this Melissa Ortiz person had made the comment, was saying, we might agree on certain things, but we don't agree on everything. And that's the part where Candace always slips up, because she thinks that her being a quote unquote conservative, and I actually learned this other term, conservative ink, a couple weeks ago. That's what she falls under. That's where a lot of these grifters fall under, is that conservative ink label. They're not a real conservative. They're just grifting. They're grifters. Grifters Incorporated. Grifters United. Is that she says these triggering things that she believes that a lot of her constituents or her followers are going to follow up with her on, and not all of them are lockstep in with whatever that she says. And she says these triggering things or something that's deemed to be quote unquote controversial because that's what she believes that party is. So she's literally putting out all the buzzwords, all the trigger words, everything that she can, and throwing to see what sticks, and thinks everyone's going to fall in line with whatever that she says. Candace Owens, at the end of the day, we know that you probably do not like being a Black woman. It probably pains you to wake up every morning and see that skin every time you wake up and open up your eyes to start your day. However, they know who you are. I know who you are. My subscribers and everyone who supports my content knows who you are, but you don't know who you are. I'm sure your husband knows who you are too. At the end of the day, no matter how hard you grift or be a conservative to anything out there, you are still a Black woman in America. You can sit here and say racism doesn't exist or white supremacy is a myth, that everything about George Floyd that happening was a lie or it was embellished. You can say what you just recently said about the disabled community with this model campaign and so on and so forth. But all your controversial statements are going to come back and bite you eventually. And I think it's starting to happen right now. She probably doesn't want to believe it, but it's definitely happening. But I've told people, her wake-up call is going to come from the people who ass she kisses the most every single day. Now, for me, this is the first time I've ever seen where she's gotten checked by not one, but two people, well, one person and one entity on the same topic. Of course, like I said, she got checked by Christina Applegate as a single entity a couple weeks ago. But now she's getting checked by a whole organization for the same thing in the same comments that she made. Now, I don't know if she's issued an apology for what she said. Knowing her and her stubbornness, she probably won't, because she'll probably say, oh, I already apologized to Christina. I'm not going to apologize again. Well, you know what? I kind of hope that she doesn't, so they can drill her ass some more, because she deserves it. I said, out of everybody who deserves a wake-up call, she's at the top of my list and has been there for quite some time. Fakem is right underneath her. That's a close second. That's a very close second when it comes to him. But again, she gets too comfortable in her positioning that she thinks she can just say anything to anybody and no one's going to check her because of the pedestal she has been put upon. So as far as I'm concerned, Candace Owens is not black people's problem. She's never been. She's never claimed to be a part of the community or any aspect. She is their problem. She's Turning Point USA's problem. She is Blexit's problem. She is her podcast problem. PragerU, all the things that she's been attached to, she belongs to them. So when she does get her wake-up call, and she will, because white supremacy believes in breaking their tools. They do not have a lifetime membership. You do not have a platinum card that will not break. When that moment comes, we will be on this side laughing and throwing a parade. And then once the dust settles, we're going to leave you right there in the dust. And so will they. And for that, I cannot wait for that day to come.